Today I'm going to share with you the top 5 lessons I learned from researching the Instagram founder, Kevin Systrom. If you're interested in business history or you're possibly interested in starting your own business one day, this video is for you. Let's start with number 5. Number 5, be willing to pivot. Now, what this basically means is that, guess what? What you wish to create is oftentimes different from what the market wants. And this was definitely the case with Kevin Systrom's first app. It was called Bourbon, and it was horrible. And quite frankly, the only people that used it only used it for the photos. So he realized this, and he realized he only liked it for the photos himself. So he pivoted and created a photo sharing app, which is called Instagram. So you have to recognize market demand. You can't always just have your own preconceived notions of what you want to sell. And trust me, I've seen numerous businesses that have had to learn this the hard way themselves. Groupon's another great example. And quite frankly, pretty much every business, when you look at their startup history, they did some pivoting. Not always, but it's a huge element to business. Let's get to number 4. Number 4, hire passionate, worthy people. So this one's kind of common sense, but for some reason people forget it, or when they actually go into business, they're so overwhelmed by a lot of things that they don't do it. Who knows why, but hiring the right people is really important. And there's this great book called Good to Great, and it goes through extensive science on why businesses succeed, which is why it's probably sold millions of copies. And one of the things that's highly emphasized is hire the right people. If that means you have to wait a few months to find that person, that's worth it. It's not worth hiring the wrong person and then spending a lot of money on this person and then firing that person. Let's get to number 3. Be a little bit crazy and follow what you want to do. Don't be afraid. Now, what he basically says, this guy Kevin Systrom, is that a lot of people are held back because of their fear. Their fear of pursuing their passions because they're scared of not accomplishing it. They're scared that they can't accomplish the big goals that they have set out, so they don't even try. This is a very daunting one. I don't know if I can actually do this fully myself. I know that people like Elon Musk, he thinks whatever he thinks, he goes and does. He's literally like, I want to build rocket ships. So he starts reading books on rocket science. So I don't know if you can really go that far. There's a certain level of practicality in the sense of like, well, are you interested enough in this? And like, do you really have the skill to get there, or at least the skill to delegate and find other people who can do it for you? So it's a tough thing, and there are a lot of people who are too drawn to this, and then they say stuff like, I'm going to build an app that will make a ton of money, and then they waste $50,000. It's not that easy. So take that with a grain of salt, but at the same time, there's definitely a bit of truth to thinking big and not being fearful. Number 2, make sure that you keep going through the darkest of times. So a lot of startups, they go through very dark times, and guess what? A lot of people give up during these tough times. Despite the fact that you may see a lot of overnight success stories, there's a lot more people who did not have a overnight type of thing. They worked a long time before their success. And a lot of overnight successes are really not. I mean, Facebook's rise, although it was fast in comparison to a lot of others, that was still, years of Mark Zuckerberg, working God knows how many hours every day, plus weekends on his thing. Bill Gates, same thing with his company. But they loved what they did, so they kept going. And the number one thing, and again, this is just personal opinion, it could be different for you, is you need to be able to fall in order to find the right solution. Be willing to fail, be willing to make mistakes, and assume that your first idea is gonna fail. Assume that failure will be there so that you don't get caught up in crying about it and you learn from it and pivot. So those are my five pieces of advice I learned from the founder of Instagram. Instagram is huge. It's been huge for a while. Even to this day, a lot of huge celebrities. I mean, quite frankly, that's where mainstream celebrities reside. Not really YouTube or Facebook that much. It's Instagram. That's where they are personally controlling that platform and posting daily pictures of themselves. So it's grown into this huge thing where some of the top Instagram users have tens of millions of followers, up into the 40 million and 50 million range. And I feel like it's going to be around for a decent while, and it's something people obsess over. So look at the lessons that this guy